guys, and welcome back to the channel on this fine rainy day in December. I was hoping to film this video outside, but alas, the rain has stopped us and we are inside doing the kind of video that this channel started on. In today's video, we're going to be talking about whether or not you should wait to buy a WRX or an STI if you're considering buying a WRX or an STI, if you're in the market, if you're considering the platform. And I think this video really applies to a lot of other platforms and vehicles. I'm just specifically catering it to the WRX and STI because that is what I make content on. But this is, again, applicable to all vehicles essentially that are somewhat have utility, have some sport value, that aren't just normal consumer commodity cars. It feels weird for me to even start talking to you guys about this because the idea of should you wait behind buying a car seems kind of crazy. Typically we say that when a new model is coming out, or you're talking about a new car, or you're waiting for a new generation. But the reality is that I'm making a blanket statement about all WRXs and STIs, new and used, maybe even more importantly used. That means I'm addressing quite a few of you guys. So look, if you follow the channel, you know I've covered some of the kind of COVID related effects of the used and new car market. A lot of people have accused me of fear mongering, but I like to consider it more education because all I'm trying to do is educate people before they make bad financial decisions so that they can make a good financial decision and enjoy the platform as much as they possibly can because they will have more dollars in their pocket to have fun on the platform. So here's the reality. Should you wait to buy a WRX or STI? The answer is probably yes. Right now, and we're in December of 2021, this video is going to be applicable for the next 6 months. I can promise you that. The used car market is greatly inflated, and I'm such a hypocrite because I'm actually looking to buy a Subaru in this period of time. I'm not going to wait, but I have a reason behind that because I run a business, my YouTube channel, surrounding this vehicle, and I just have to take the equity hit. It's going to happen. I'm trying my best to avoid it, but it's going to happen. But if you're not running a business around the car, around a vehicle, your WRX or your STI, now is probably the wrong time to buy. And I'm probably shooting myself in the foot because right now I'm trying to sell my WRX so I can buy the STI. But the reality is because of COVID and what's happening with supply chain shortages, we've seen this overinflated used car market, and we're at this interesting interim time where the Omicron variant, Omicron variant, I think that's how you say it, is having a big impact and could have a substantial impact and potentially force us into another situation that causes potential shutdowns, will definitely cause further supply chain shortages. And the current forecast of the used and new car market in 2022 is that it's actually going to get worse than it is now, which is a good thing for everyone that owns cars and has many cars. And if you want to get in and play the bet of investing in cars, now's the time to consider doing that. Now, I'm not giving you any financial advice, but plenty of people do that out there. I guess what I'm saying is the worst is yet to come, and this isn't a bad thing. So I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just trying to keep you guys updated with what's going on so you can make the best financial decisions. And again, there's nothing worse than buying into this platform and not enjoying it because you're so strapped for cash, or you've got so much anxiety over the amount of money that you had to finance or the amount of money you had to spend on the platform. And there's nothing worse than a year from now, 2 years from now, finding out you're underwater on the car because you paid X dollars more than over MSRP and that you're in trouble. The two situations that I wanted to talk about quickly about the big negatives, the WRX platform and the STI platform specifically, you get a lot of people entering into the sports car world. It's a great entry vehicle, and I want that to be the entry vehicle for a lot of people because it teaches a lot of people about ownership, and for the most part, it's pretty forgiving. The downside to that is a lot of people end up financing these cars and financing them for a long period of time and financing a bit of them. What do I really mean? Well, we're seeing lots of 6-7 year finance terms on the WRX and STI. At least that's what's coming in Consumer Reports, which is actually fairly scary, especially when you consider how much people are paying for cars. Now, this would be much worse if it wasn't the WRX or STI platform because historically, you don't have a lot of equity decay on the WRX or STI platform, so you're gonna lose less money than another platform. But the reality is, two things could happen to you. One, if you were to get into an accident, right, and you've paid X amount over what the car is worth for the car just to have access to the car, because that's the reality. That upcharge in the market is really just about supply and demand. It's about you pay more for access. If you were to do something like, unfortunately, have your car totaled, if somebody, I just saw a situation where somebody bought a brand new STI, they paid X amount of dollars over MSRP, they had it for like 3 weeks, it was parked on the street. A drunk driver, slammed into it while they weren't into it. So, thank goodness they're okay. But I think they paid $43,000 for the STI, and the insurance is willing to cut them a check for $34,000 or something like that. The reality is, that person can take the insurance company to court, but in reality, they're probably going to lose, because the way that the insurance is underwritten is, of course, the insurance company isn't liable for some scalping of the market where you're paying more for a demand situation. And that might sound silly and ridiculous, but that's how it works. That's how these policies are underwritten. And likely that person's out, $6, $7, $8,000 if they want to replace their car. And if they had a loan on it, they now are still gonna have to pay off that loan even though they don't have the car anymore. So there are things that you can mitigate against that, like gap insurance and other things. And those are all things you can do, but that's the forewarning. The other thing is it is predicted that 2 years from now, we start seeing a lot of defaulting and faulting on loans, because there are so many cars right now being sold at such high prices that are going to lose value so quickly as the market corrects 2 years from now, and people are going to owe so much money on those cars. And if we have if we stagnate on the inflation of people's wages, as wages do or do not increase, we're going to see lots of faulting on these things, and it's going to become somewhat of a fire sale for those of us that are looking to get good deals. But the caution is, don't be one of those two people. Be smart with your money. Consider waiting. That's all I'm saying. A good deal is a good deal, so always be on the hunt. I'm not saying, if you're looking for a WRX or an STI, I'm not saying just pause, right? Hunt for a good deal, because sometimes good deals present themselves when you're least expecting it. What I am saying is be cautious and potentially be mentally prepared to wait if you can wait, because you will be in a better financial situation. Now, I also acknowledge not all of us look at our cars like these financial assets, and we're like, not everybody wants to play the game of car ownership, equity curves, trying to lose the least amount of money as possible, trying to make money on your car, because I actually try to make money on every car that I buy. And the reality is, I guess if you're not interested in playing that game, just understand what you're buying into and what's happening with the market and what could happen. So hopefully I gave you guys a little bit of information. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hopefully I'm not fear-mongering here. Everything's going to be okay, knock on wood. Hopefully everything's going to be okay. Just be smart with your money, smart with what you're doing, and look for those good deals. That's what's going to really make you win in today's environment.